Yeah, hello. You're welcome to TKLMS Academy, and we'll be taking more or solving more questions on the topic inequality. Now, you have to be extra careful when you are solving this because when you have to move the um, numbers or the unknown from one side to the other. Okay, so let's look at question 2b. We have to find the set of values of x for which 8 into bracket 1 minus x close the bracket is greater than x minus 1. Alright, so let's jump into it. So here we have 8 into brackets 1 minus x greater than x minus 1. The first thing you have to do here is to open up the bracket on the left hand side. Alright, and that's super easy. 8 multiplied by 1, that's 8 minus 8 multiplied by x, that's 8x greater than x minus 1. The next thing to do is to collect the like terms. Now, the like terms we have here, 8 and negative 1, they are like terms. Or also, negative 8x and x, they are another set of like terms. Now, you could decide to move the ones with x to the left hand side, and that's what we are going to do here. So we have negative 8x, all right, minus x greater than negative 1, all right, and then you move the 8 from the left to the right becomes minus 8. So you need to be watchful of these negatives. Now, negative 8x minus 1 means, this x means 1x. So negative 8 minus negative 1. Now, talking about this particular one, and that's going to give us negative 9 with an x greater than negative 1 minus 8, and that's going to give us negative 9. Now at this level or at this point, we want to find the value of x. And how is that done? Now first, you could decide to divide both sides by 9, or you could just say divide both sides by negative 9, but I want to take it one step at a time. So if you divide both sides by 9, you're going to have negative x greater than negative 1. So now we want to find the value of x, not negative x. So you need to get rid of the negative. And to get rid of that negative, you can divide both sides by negative. Why? We are dividing by negative because negative x means negative times 1x, or you can say negative 1 times x. Okay, let me write it here. Negative 1 times x. So, in order to get rid of this negative 1, you divide by negative 1. You understand? So, taking out negative will make you have x left. So if you are divided by negative, something is going to happen. Immediately you divide by negative, the sign changes. Okay? That is, this greater than sign is going to change. Maybe you divide by negative because negative is coming from one side of the equation. So you're going to have x is less than 1. Here we have negative 1 on the right hand side before, so it goes and then we have 1 left. Now what are the values that are less than 1? Here we have 0, start from 0, negative 1, negative 2, and so on and so forth. So that is the answer for the first question there. Now let's look at the second one, that's the 2f. Here we have 2 into bracket x minus 5 greater or equal to 3 into bracket 4 minus x. So We'll be a little bit faster here. So here we have it. We have 2 into brackets x minus 5 greater or equal to 3 into bracket 4 minus x. Alright, so the first stage or step is to open the bracket on the left and on the right. We're going to have 2x minus 10 greater or equals to 3 times 4 is 12 minus 3x. The next stage or next step is to collect the like terms. So we have 2x here and we have negative 3x here. What do we have? What does it become? It becomes 2x, alright, plus 3x greater or equal to 12 plus 10. Take note that the sign greater or equals to does not change here, alright, even though we are moving the numbers. Now, 2x plus 3x, that gives us 5x, greater or equals to 12 plus 10, that gives 22. Next step is to divide both sides by 5, and then we have x greater or equals to 22 divided by 5, that leaves us with 4 whole number 2 over 5. So here we are. What are the values that are greater than or equal to 4 whole number 2 over 5? Since there's an equal sign there as well, the values of x will start from 4 whole number 2 over 5, which is like saying 4.4. Alright, so if you are interested in the integers, so after 4.4, you can move on to 5, and then 6, and 7, and so on and so forth. So those are the values that we are looking for. Let's take a look at something that may be a little bit different. Let's consider g. 12x minus 3 into bracket x minus 3, and then so let's take a look at that. Okay, so for g, we have 12x minus 3, open bracket x minus 3, less than 45. Okay, so this as well, your focus should be how you're going to open up these brackets. Take note that before the brackets we had 3. Now, before that 3, there's a negative sign. That negative must be taken along with the 3. Do not be confused about this. The 3 has a sign with it, which is negative. So when you are opening the bracket, you will ensure that you open the bracket with the negative 3. So sure, we have our 12x. Alright, then the next thing is we're going to multiply negative 3 times x. That gives negative 3x. And also negative 3 times negative 3 that we have inside the bracket, and that gives us positive 9. So take a look at it closely and then you would get it. Alright, so less than 45. Then you have 12x minus 3x. So what we are doing right now is we're collecting the like terms. Less than 45 minus 9. Here we have 12x minus 3x. That gives us 9x. Less than 45 minus 9. That gives us 36. Divide both sides by 9. And then you have x less than 36 divided by 9. That gives us 4. So what are the values that are less than 4? Yeah, you're right. So we have 3, 2, 1, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's take on some more questions because of some peculiarities that they have. Let's consider Roman figure. That's 2i. X into brackets x minus 4 greater or equal to x squared plus 2. Okay, so let's dive into that. Okay, we have x into bracket x minus 4 greater or equals to x squared plus 2. Now, the only thing here that may seem different is the x squared. And when you see it, you shouldn't be afraid. Just start from what you know. It's as simple as that. I mean, part of what you know is that this is a bracket on the left hand side. So first thing is open up the bracket. Find out when students see something different from what they were used to by their what they were used to, what they've been taught by their teachers. They just assume that that particular question is difficult. But the first thing is when you see something like that, just look at where you can start from. Start from that little place. And then you discover that after that, there's something else you can do. Then do that next until you realize that you've solved it. So in this case, we have x into bracket x minus 4. So let's open the bracket. X multiplied by x. That's going to give us x squared. So we have x squared here. Then x multiplied by negative 4. That gives negative 4x greater or equals to x squared plus 2. Alright, so at this stage, what do you think is the next thing to do? The next thing to do, of course, is to collect the like terms, because here we have x squared on the left and we have x squared on the right. Both of them are squared, so they are like terms. Alright, then we have negative 4x. This exists on its own because there is none that has a single x any longer. And then this 2 is on its own, you understand? So the only like terms we have there is the x squared, because they both have squared on them. So move the ones that have x or x squared to the left. Here we're going to have x squared, which we originally have here, alright? And then move this x squared, which was on the right, move it to the left, it becomes negative x squared, right? And then we have 4x greater or equals to 2. Now, x squared minus x squared, that becomes 0. It gets neutralized, so that is out. You are left with negative 4x greater or equal to 2. So, the next thing to do here is to divide both sides by negative 4. But you need to be watchful of the sign. So, you could decide to take it one step at a time, like divide both sides by 4. But I mean, you can take these two steps together, and I'm going to take you through it. So what we are interested in is to find the value of the x. So we want to take out this negative 4, and to do that, you divide both sides by negative 4. Now, in the process of doing that, you're going to have x left on the left. The sign that you have in the middle is going to change from greater than or equal to become less than or equal to. And then what is 2 divided by negative 4? That gives us negative 2. Oh, no, not negative 2. That gives us negative 1 over 2. That gives us negative 1 over 2. So the question now is, what are the values that are less than or equal to negative 1 over 2? Now, there are some times that at this point you should be careful of making a mistake. Okay, so let's say this is 1. All right, in between, so this is negative 1, then this is 1. So in between 0 and negative 1, you have your negative 1 over 2. Okay, so we are asking that values of x that are less than. That means from this negative 1 over 2, we are going to move backward. Alright, move to the left. So do not forget that you are expected to start from that negative 1 over 2 because of the greater than and the less than and equal to which you have there. So the values are negative 1 over 2, negative 1, negative 2, and so on and so forth. It's as simple as that. And do not forget that we're going to shade this place as well. Alright, so let's move on to G. We are making some progress. So x into bracket 5 minus x greater than or equal to 3 plus x minus x squared. We want to find the set of values of x for this particular question. Quite easy. Alright, so let's take a look at how it is done. Here we are solving J now. We have x into brackets 5 minus x greater or equals to 3 plus x minus x squared. Now, do not be afraid. Just do what you can do at first. The first thing you can do here is to open the bracket. So that's what we do first. X times 5, that gives 5x. Then x multiplied by negative x, that gives us negative x squared. And then greater or equals to 3 plus x minus x squared. We've successfully taken out the bracket. The next step is to collect the like terms. Now, what are the like terms here? Take note that 5x and x squared, they are not like terms. They are not. Okay? Because this particular x here does not have a squared. This x squared this x has a squared. So the like terms we have here, we have 5x and we have plus x. Okay? So and then we have negative x squared and negative x squared. That's another set of like terms. And then 3 exists on its own. So what I would suggest you do is take all the values that have x squared or x, take them all to the left. And so you're going to have 5x. Okay, so you take the positive x, it becomes negative x. Then we have our negative x squared, that's negative x squared. And then on the right hand side, you have negative x squared. By the time you move it to the left hand, it becomes positive x squared. Alright, greater or equals to, you're going to have only 3 left. Please do take note that when you are moving all this, the sign does not change. Do not say that, oh, you are moving negative x squared, so the sign should change. No, it doesn't change. It doesn't change. I've told you the time it changes. So let's still go on. So you have 5x minus x, that's 4x. And then negative x squared plus x squared, that is out. And then greater or equals to 3. Now, to find the value of x, you divide both sides by x, by 4. So, you're going to have x greater or equals to 3 over 4. It's as simple as that. Now, I want to tell you something. There are times when you may have this 3 over 4, let's say less or equals to x. You can have it this way, and you want to move your x. You don't want it to be on the right hand side, you want it to be on the left hand side. Because you are going to move everything that you have on the left to the right, and then everything on the right, everything on the right to the left, and everything on the left to the right, then that can also cause the sign to change. So what we are saying now is that when you move the x, which is on the right hand side, to the left, and then you're moving the 3 over 4, which was on the left, to the right hand side, then the sign must change. Because I'm moving everything. Take note of that one, of everything. So this is another case that causes the sign to change. I hope that is clear. So now let's consider the values that are greater than or equal to 3 over 4. Now, if you are confused about what the values are, a very good way for you to solve that is to draw the number line, and then you consider the values that are on the right side of 3 over 4. By the way, if this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. 3 over 4 is closer to 1. So let's say this is 3 over 4 over here. So the values that are greater than will be on the right hand side. So I'll take note that you have to start from 3 over 4 itself, please. So 3 over 4, 1, 2, and so on and so forth. Alright, so we've solved that. Alright, so look at take on J, on L for this last set of these questions. Alright, so for L, let's see the peculiarity with L. Okay, so we have 2x, we have x into brackets 2x minus 5 less or equals 4x into brackets x plus 3, everything divided by 2 minus 9. Okay, now when you see something like this, you need not be confused about it. You need not be confused about it. Just be calm. Of course, the first thing you're going to do is open the bracket. And most of the time, this is a step-by-step marking. And then even if you get stuck, make sure you try what you can, because you're going to get some marks. You're going to get some marks along the line, especially if you are doing a theory, you're solving a theory question. Okay, so let's delve into this. So x multiplied by 2x, we're going to have 2x squared. And then x multiplied by negative 5, that gives us negative 5x, less or equal to, next we're going to open the brackets that we have up here, 4x times x, that's 4x squared, okay, and then 4x times 3, we're going to have 12x. Still don't forget that we have our divided by 2 minus 9. Now I'm sure what will make this question look a little bit difficult for some students is the fact that they have that divided by 2. And I want you to take note that there are at least one way of doing this, meaning that they have 2, 3, even more than that, ways of doing this. So here is one of the ways by which you can do it. Now, see this particular 2 here. We want to get rid of it because it is one of those things that makes it look a bit difficult. So normally if you have divided by 2, how you get rid of it is to multiply by 2, right? So for instance, if you have x over 2, how do you get rid of the 2? Multiply by 2, and then it's out. You have x left. Should you understand? So also we're going to do here. Now, when you're getting rid of that 2 from this end, by multiplying by 2, you have to do that for every other terms that you have. So here's what I mean. So let's say multiply all through. Multiply by 2. So meaning you're going to do 2 multiply by everything you have here. So take note that I put the 2 outside the brackets, okay? And then you're going to multiply everything on the right hand side also by 2. So I'm going to write this in this way. Okay, divided by 2, multiply this by 2, and then minus, you also multiply that 9 by 2. I hope you understand what I'm talking here. So let's start from the left hand side. 2 multiplied by 2, that's 4x squared. 2 times 5, that's 10x. Then less or equals to. Now this 2, take out this 2. You don't need to open the bracket and say, okay, this 2 times 4x 2 times 12. No. You don't need to do that way. So we'll have 4x squared plus 12x, right? Then 2 times 9, we have 18. Now, it is easy for us to collect the like terms since all the terms are on just a single line. So we have collecting like terms. Now move the 4x squared they have x squared on them, so that will be minus 4x. That's the 4x squared on the right. And then you have your minus 10x, move it. So it's on the left, then move the positive 12x from the right to the left, it becomes negative 12x. Okay, so we successfully moved all the x squared and the x from the right to the left. What we have left there is negative 18. Take note that the sign as negative, the less or equals to has not changed. Alright, so this and this gets taken out. We have negative 10x minus 12x. You're going to have negative 22x greater or equals to negative 18. Alright, so you have that. Now, we need to take a good look to be sure that we are not having any error somewhere. Alright, so the next thing is we are going to divide both sides by, so we were interested in just the value of x, okay? So we're going to divide both sides by negative 22, and do not forget that then the sign is going to change. So we have negative 22, we have negative 22, so based on this goes, we are going to be left with x less or equals to, okay, now the sign changes from less than to greater than or equal to. Oh, that's clear. Then the negative takes out negative. So we're going to have 9 over 11. So the question now is, what are the values? What are the values that we should consider in this particular case? 9 over 11. That's not up to 1. So the values of x will be, we're going to start from 9 over 11. Okay, and then 1, 2, 3, and so on and so forth. So those are the values that we are looking for. Alright, so over here you still have some more questions to look at. You still have some more questions, so you could just take out some time to answer the remaining questions. So in our next class, we'll be solving the question 3. Thank you.